I'm just glad I got to showcase that, with the team. That was really it.
Did you land in bounds on that one?
Oh, of course, I'm always in bounds.
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You see the thumbnail. MiniCamp Day 1 recap. We only get 2 of these practices. We have to take advantage of them. MiniCamp Day 1 recap. Let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're a New York Giants fan, the way that I'm a New York Giants fan and I'm a fanatic, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. MiniCamp Day 1. So we started the day off. Wan'Dale was at the podium. He gave us the news about Daniel Jones not participating in MiniCamp as far as team drills in MiniCamp. If you've been following this channel, you already know that I think this is a big mistake. They're sticking to the plan. He did say that Daniel Jones was not happy about the decision. He is eager and ready to go. He also feels like he is ready to go. He was at the podium today too, but they held him out. Individual drills, we saw him passing a little bit. Media was in the building. Beat writers were in the building, and the timeline was flooded. We got all the clips, all the information, all the write-ups. It was filled today. Shout out to everybody that was in the building. Wan'Dale also talked about Neal being held out, and he's not going to be a part of MiniCamp. And I have issues with that. And it's not an issue of Neal, not participating. That's one thing. The real thing about it is this. You say that you want Joshua Ezeudu, or you're giving a chance to Joshua Ezeudu to play tackle, to play outside. When you already know, and I'm like, in all honesty, you already know if Neal is not ready to go, the first option is not going to be Josh Ezeudu at right tackle. That's not going to happen. It's going to be Jermaine Illuminor. Everybody knows it. And this was brought up in the spaces earlier, we got Illuminor at left guard right now. You got Joshua Ezeudu playing right tackle. That's not going to happen in the season if Neal is not ready to go, or if Neal doesn't cut it. You're absolutely going to move Jermaine Illuminor to right tackle. So why waste time right now? Let him get reps at right tackle. And if you need a guy to step in that guard, how about Aaron Stinney? How about that veteran? Or how about Joshua Ezeudu? Since you want to give Joshua Ezeudu a chance, how about you give him a chance in the inside? Because him being the solution at right tackle behind Neal, we already know that's fake. That's not real. That's not something that's really going to happen. We should not be entertaining that. It's just a waste of time, in my opinion. But hey, I'm just a guy on YouTube talking to you guys. So let's talk about practice a little bit. And again, we saw a lot of clips. We got a lot of information. Malik Nabers doing his thing today. Everybody's going crazy. The one-handed warm-up catches. They said it's Odell-ish. Listen, LSU guys been doing this. All those LSU guys do the one-handed catches as warm-ups. All of them do it. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, they all do it. I don't know if Odell Beckham started it, but he did make it popular. I'll say that. But that's not anything new, or anything new that these guys do as far as warming up and doing all the spectacular one-handed grabs. That, it's not anything new. But let's talk about practice. Malik Nabers looks fantastic, as advertised. Gets open often, does not drop anything, looks fast, looks quick. The whole wide receiver room looks quick. And then Malik Nabers was at the podium too, talking about what he brings to the table. Said he brings the energy, brings that dog, brings that juice to the wide receiver room. He brings confidence. He is a weapon. Daniel Jones already said sky's the limit with him. The route tree is all there. There's nothing that's off limits for Malik Nabers. And you know what? People already knew this. We already kind of knew, or we actually really knew what we were getting with Malik Nabers. And now that we're seeing it more in practice, or I should say they're writing about it more, they're posting more videos, everybody gets a chance to see how special Malik Nabers is. Let's talk about the rest of the wide receiver room. Not only does Malik Nabers have a boost of confidence, Jalen Hyatt has a boost of confidence as well. He has been working hard this offseason. He had his own, he hired his own coach out in Houston, I believe it was, Houston, working on his route running and things like that, his conditioning, his strengthening, all that. And we're seeing him look better in practice as well. Still looks as quick as he has been looking, but the routes look crisper. They were running a nice drill today, running around, I would say cones, but they weren't cones. They were like sticks, showing his ability to get in and out of breaks. Fantastic. You love to see it. Wan'Dale Robinson, the secret weapon, Weapon X, or Weapon Y, you can call him. Weapon Z, wherever you want to line them up. That's Wan'Dale Robinson, and guess what? He had the play of the day today. As far as the offense goes, he took a slant to the house. Was it 50 yards, something like that? All I know is when I saw the clip, he had the ball in his hand already. Only reason why I knew who threw it to him is because they wrote it down and put it in the notes. But it was locked to Wan'Dale Robinson on a slant. He was lined up outside. He hit the slant. Unfortunately, it was on Cordell Flott. Took it to the house. And guess who was down the field blocking? Jalen Hyatt. And guess who met him in the end zone? Jalen Hyatt and Malik Nabers. And guess what? We got a couple of new celebrations that they're going to unleash in the 2024 season. So let me get to my handy dandy notebook to see what other notes we have here. Okay, so the Giants did host a tryout today. Looks like they housed. So they had two tight ends in the building for a tryout. This is Noah Tagai or Tagai. Jeriquarius Spivey. Those are the two tight ends. They had an offensive lineman, Kellen Deich. Also in, and then the more notable name was cornerback Trey Herndon from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, recently with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He also was in for a tryout today, and just looked up his PFF score or grade. Overall grade was a 70. That's not bad at all. 5'11", 190 pounds. Has played in 83 games with 34 starts. So there you go as far as bringing in some new guys. I believe they said that the roster right now is 89 players. Obviously, you need 90 players to go into the summer or into training camp. Maybe Herndon gets that final spot. So I got another injury update as well. Guys that went down today. Well, Slayton went down, looked like it was a collision. Was able to walk off the field and with the trainers. And the last report I saw that he seems like he is okay. We got a shoulder injury for wide receiver Chase Cota. They were looking at the right arm of Bryce Ford Wheaton today. He actually had a nice touchdown today. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Other guys that were out, Trey Hawkins was out, Micah McFadden, Isaiah Simmons. These guys were at practice but just not participating. And then, of course, Evan Neal was working on the inside. There were a couple other guys, but these are more of the notable names that did not participate in the practice today. Let's see what else I have. All right, so I do have some notes, practice notes. This is going to be from the Giants Insider. Again, the play today was Wan'Dale Robinson. That was a slant to the house. Azudu played right tackle. Talked about that already, too. Nick McLeod ran with the ones as the slot cornerback, so that's new information. And then Darnay Holmes was actually getting some reps on the outside as a boundary corner. So that's something that's new that we haven't heard about yet. I don't know if this was the first day that they did it, but this is the first time that I've read that somebody reported that Darnay Holmes was getting some snaps on the outside. This is not something that hasn't happened before, but we already know the weakness for Darnay Holmes. Nick McLeod getting some slot work. Fantastic. He's already a versatile guy. He's one of those guys that whenever somebody goes down, he's probably the first name you're going to call off the bench. And, Nick McLeod. As far as touchdowns go in the offense, we have a touchdown. Bryce Ford Wheaton from Tommy DeVito. Fantastic. Hyatt to lock. Hyatt to Wan'Dale Robinson. That was a play of the day. We also had a touchdown from Tommy DeVito to Theo Johnson. They got clips up for that. When you look at the defensive side, we had one lone interception that was from Drew Phillips, the cornerback, the rookie cornerback. We got a would-be sack from Elijah Chapman. He's getting pressure, a bunch of pressures from Brian Burns. And again, we don't see those clips, but I can't wait for these guys to have on the pads, and we can really see what's going on. So next, I'm going to talk about the podium. We had a couple guys at the podium today: Jones, Nabers, Bobby Okereke, Daniel Bellinger. All these guys were at the podium today. And just some notes from Bobby Okereke. He was asked about the defense. He said it was fun. He said that he gets to play a little bit more coverage with this scheme from Shane Bowen. He's saying with the guys up front getting pressure, it makes his job a lot easier if these guys can get pressure and make the quarterback make quicker decisions. He says a guy like Brian Burns, pointed out, especially makes his job easier for the same reason, being able to get pressure on the quarterback, making that quarterback make some quick decisions. Daniel Bellinger was at the podium today. Interesting point that he made today. There's nothing wrong with him. He's fully healthy. Remember that he was on the sideline during OTAs, certain team activities, and people asked why. And basically, he was just to the point where young guys like Theo Johnson and then a guy like Lawrence Cager, getting reps. So sacrificing his own reps, which is a head scratcher to me, sacrificing his own reps, for the rookie to get reps, for Lawrence Cager to get reps. Now, I put out the video when Darren Waller left, and I said, what does this mean for Lawrence Cager? Well, today, Brian Dable was talking about how Lawrence Cager is was one of the most improved guys going into, this offseason. But again, I will have to ask, what does that mean? Is he a better blocker all of a sudden? Is he going to play more in line? Because when you look at all of the other tight ends on the roster and the tight ends that we believe are going to make the team, he does not fit that mold as, a dual threat tight end. Or not even a dual threat tight end, but a traditional tight end where you can help out in line, be a good blocker, but also add that, receiving talent, to the team. So I'm curious to see how this goes with Brian Dable singing the praises of Lawrence Cager and how he improved. Also, Daniel Bellinger talked about how he spent this offseason working on his route running ability in hopes of being more involved in the passing game. Now, here's the thing when it comes to that. I'm a big fan of Daniel Bellinger. The guy grew on me. When we drafted him out of San Diego State, I didn't know exactly what we were getting. I know he was going to be a tremendous blocker because that's what he was known for at San Diego State. But when he got his chance as a rookie and he was added to the receiving game, when his number was called, he made do. He took advantage of the opportunities. And obviously, we picked up Darren Waller right before 2023. His role diminished. I can't say it really diminished, but his role changed. And because of the deficiencies with the offensive line, tackle, he was more of a guy to help in, chip block, they keep in and stuff like that. And we didn't get a chance to use him to his full capabilities. So that was one challenge. The second challenge is this. With the new addition of newly drafted Theo Johnson, everybody loves the new shiny toy. Everybody's talking about how Theo Johnson is penciled in as a tight end one. That could be true. That might be true. It might end up happening. But at the same time, you cannot sleep on my guy Daniel Bellinger. What he did his rookie year opened my eyes to what he could possibly be. And now, yes, we have Theo Johnson, but that doesn't mean that we can't use both tight ends equally. When you do have those double tight stats, both of these guys are able to do a lot of things. I will say this, though. Daniel Bellinger has proved it at the NFL level that he can make some plays. Theo Johnson has not done that yet. So when you're asking me right now today, in June still, Daniel Bellinger is still my tight end one. But guess what? Whoever is the best option for tight end one for the New York Giants, whoever wins that spot, fine with me. But I trust me, I believe we're going to see a lot of double tights. Or even if it's not double tight formations, we're going to see a lot of both Daniel Bellinger and Theo Johnson regardless. So that's going to be my recap for the first day of minicamp. Again, we only have one more before the long break. This funny thing is, we'll see the New York Giants on HBO next before we see them on the field for training camp. That is a fact. That is for sure. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.